Okay, here we go. I am about to make a fish tank stand for a 40-gallon fish tank. Let me show you the blueprints I got of it. Just basic blueprints of the main frame, but I'll be adding a lot more support to it. But these are the basic dimensions. I got fish tank dimension 36 inches by 18 1/4 by 17, and then I'll be doing rectangles front, top and bottom that are going to be exactly the same, and then you have your risers. And I'll be putting in pieces of wood here to add some support. I may put some support here, support here, and then I don't know about shelves, but I'll probably do shelves and then plywood all the way around. The 3 sides here, the back I'm going to leave completely open. So now that you got that, I'm going to go over here and show you my supplies and my tools. So I got the 40-gallon there. I've got 6 8-foot 2x4s, a bunch of screws. I'm just using drywall screws, 3 inches. Those might be a little too big. I think I got some other ones here. 8 by 3 inch. I didn't use those last time. I used for my 75-gallon. I used I think 8 by 2 1/4, but I wanted a little bit more depth to it. So we'll see how this goes. I might have to go get some different screws if it's splitting the wood. But the last ones I had were also self-drilling, so we'll see. But yeah, I got, my dad was nice enough to buy me some Craftsman stuff, so I got a skill saw and a drill, and I'm gonna go about it. I got my safety glasses. You always need your safety glasses, and I'll show you the next step here when I'm done making some stuff. Now that I've got the first part done, so basically I cut all 8 of those pieces and screw them together. Make sure you use a level surface so you can get it as close as you can, and then you're gonna want to make sure that you measure the diagonals, make sure they're fairly close. Just basically 2 screws, and then my next step is going to be building the risers off of this. And you do the bottom, then you flip it over and do the other side. So I'll get back to you when that step's done. Okay, next step. Complete, did the risers. You want to do 1 screw on each one, get it all together, and make sure you're level and you get all the pieces up where you want them on these right here on this inside. And then once you have 1 screw everywhere, you figure out the height, and maybe your height is a little bit lower over here than it is over here, so you can kind of adjust it a little bit. When you do that, then you want to put in your 2nd screw and your 3rd screw and do that all the way around. Alright, next step is to fill in the sides here. We're going to put 1 2x4 there and 1 2x4 on the inside, or on the outside here. And there'll be 3 2x4s on all sides. So I'll get back after that step. So tonight's the next night. Basically all I did was from the last step, I cut all the individual pieces. So I'm sorry if my hands are a little shaky, but so I basically just did 1 on each. I'm going to come back and do 3 top and bottom, but just to get it just right. And what I did was I made it just so it wedges right on the inside in between these 2, and just use a little mallet and tap it in there and wedge it in there, and it gives it a little bit of a a tight fit, and yeah, I'll come back and do the rest of the bolts. So all that's really left is the rest of the screws, not the bolts. All the screws, and then some plywood, and then I'll make a door and stain it. So stay tuned for the next step. So got it all finalized. I put in another one on the top just to give it some more little bit of support here. Did all three here, top and bottom, and then also did the three here, top and bottom. And you basically do that all the way around, and you get a nice stiff stand. The next is just plywood on the outside, and I'll show you how I make a door, and it should be pretty easy from here. Then you could just customize it however you want to. Make shelves and whatnot. Hey guys, ended up skipping a few steps, but let me show you what I did. So here's the done product, and not quite sure I like the blue stain. I thought it was gonna come out a little bit different. The picture on the actual can looked a lot better than what actually happened. I don't know if I maybe just put too much on there, or might be because it was cold and I was painting it. I don't know. But I also tried to get some clear coat and I didn't want it to be shiny. So I got a satin finish. It says on the paint can that this would be a good finishing coat. So maybe when it gets a little bit warmer, I might try doing something different with it. But for the most part, I like the look of it. I did the top. It was like almost a gel. It's 32 degrees right now, so anyway. So I got plywood for the sides. I had to go to the store and get some more plywood, so it's a few days later. But yeah, you basically screw all the sides in. What I did for the door was you go from the back and you mark where you want to drill your hole, and then you drill a hole from the back side on all four, and then you take a straight edge and you go from hole to hole where you want it, and then you just take your skill saw and you set it in there and go up and down to almost the end of the corner, and then I take a sawzall and I cut the little bits out after. So the reason why you don't cut it all the way is because you want to make your door perfect. And the way I figured to do that is you basically put these on before you cut the corners out. So it just makes it real easy. Then your holes are all there. And then you take the sawzall and you cut the corners out, and then the door swings open back and forth. Pretty easy. And you could get it up as close as you want to the edge. And then what else you can do, because your door will swing inside, is I put little stoppers on here. I had some roofing nails, so I just hammered that in. And got these little handle deals. I got on my 75 gallon, I got a little different, but it's more heavy duty, but I like the small, and it was black. I wanted to go with black hardware. But yeah, I think it came out fairly okay. If I end up not liking the blue, I can sand it all off. It's pretty easy to sand it off. Like, I want a little bit more on the sanding part right here, and you can see it tan got out a little bit. But yeah, that's that's the final deal, and I'll have to do a video on setting up my tank. So hope you liked it. Catch you in the next video.